So hi there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks a lot for tuning in again. Hope you enjoyed the previous videos. Just a quick update today about some stuff that's going on in the Eredivisie, which is the Premier Division in Holland. I know there's been quite a lot of news coming out of there recently in regards to what's going on with the season. So earlier on this week it was agreed by, I think it was 90% of the clubs voted in favour of the season being cancelled right now. And basically with that there would be no champion. So I think it was Ajax, who were top of the league, would not be winning the league. There'd be no relegations. So, you know, those clubs who have had a poor season would get away with it. And there would be no promotions from the second division in Holland. So I think the two clubs that were due to get promoted, Camber and De Graafschap, I think the two teams were. I think they were quite a few points clear of everyone else in that league, and it's basically been agreed that there's going to be no promotion this season, which is a massive turn up for the books really, because you know you kind of gear your season up ready to be promoted, and that isn't what's going to happen now. You know, they're going to have to go again next season. So I'm led to believe that this was a vote by all of the clubs who agreed this. So, you know, it wasn't at kind of like a board level at the Dutch FA or anything like that. Like I say, apparently it was 90% of the clubs voted in favour of this. So, you know, it is a very surprising turnout. I know that the Dutch government a couple of weeks back said that there'd be no football until at least September. That's no live sport whatsoever, even behind closed doors. So the cancellation of the league was incoming. But, you know, for this kind of thing to happen is, you know, there was an argument to be made, you know, because because of the current standings, would they just leave it as it is and award Ajax the title, and then the teams that are, you know, that are in the relegation zone, would they have just relegated them? You know, obviously that wasn't to be, and there was also some more talk that the top two in the second division would have been promoted, but there'd have been no relegations from the Eredivisie, so it would have been a 20-team league next year, because there's only 18 teams in Holland's top division. That was the other thing that was looking quite likely what was going to happen, but yeah, they've just cancelled it altogether. There's no final standings. It's just cancelled. The season is over. Obviously, that leads to questions about what's going to happen with European football next season. Obviously, with the Champions League places, Europa League places, and stuff like that. I know that you know, in Holland, in terms of revenue and fans and stuff like that, it's not the biggest league. You know, some of the stadiums in their top division are like, you know, League One, League Two, even smaller in England. So, you know, that sort of revenue for the teams that, you know, might have been getting into the Europa League and stuff like that would have been massive for them. So I don't think there's been any news that's broken about that yet. But obviously, if there is a decision to be made about that, then I shall let you know. So yeah, I mean, it does obviously ask a question: will other leagues take note of that now, and will they do the same thing now? You know, one of the traditionally big leagues in Europe, the Dutch league, has done it. Will France take note? Who knows, really? You know, I know that there is so much money in the Premier League and Serie A and the Bundesliga, so I doubt that they'll do it. But you know, it might just trigger a few more leagues to do it. You know, especially the ones where teams are so far ahead. You could argue that if there wasn't so much money in the Premier League, would Liverpool just be handed the league now, and would they cancel the season? But, you know, obviously that's not to be. So it's good to see the Dutch FA and all of the clubs have put, you know, the safety of the fans and the professionals and the players, you know, before any sort of, you know, like monetary gain or anything like that. I think that's really good. But yeah, you know, we'll see what happens. The other thing I just wanted to mention as well in this video is Alan Pardew, who, you know, is the ex-Palace manager, Newcastle, Reading. He's been at quite a few clubs, hasn't he? He got appointed as the ADO Den Haag manager. I think it was just before Christmas he got hired, back at the end of last year. Den Haag are one of the perennial strugglers in the Eredivisie, and they were in a bit of a relegation battle when he took over. Obviously, Pardew hasn't been in a job for a couple of years in England, so I think him and Chris Powell took that job over in Holland, and as part of the contract that they signed there, he was promised a €100,000 relegation bonus if he was to keep them up, because I think they were struggling at the time. You know, it's a bit of incentive to get him over there. It was actually seen as quite a big coup when they actually hired him. But yeah, I think they were off. I think that their board offered him €100,000, and obviously as a result of the season being cancelled, now relegation doesn't matter. Now Den Haag are safe. I believe that he was offered that bonus, and there are reports coming out of Holland that he has actually turned that down, and I believe that there's quotes from himself as well. I've not checked the quotes yet, but he actually donated that bonus to charity, which is obviously a great touch from the guy. If that is true, you know, would have been pretty cheeky if, you know, Den Haag survived by default as a result of the season being cancelled, and he got a nice little payday as a result of it. But no, the reports are saying that he's donated that to charity. So that's, you know, well done to Pardew. You know, it's not often you see stuff like that, but, you know, it's a mark of the guy. Really good gesture, you know, in the grand scheme of things. He's had bigger paydays than that in the Premier League with the amount of times he's been sacked. He's a millionaire. He doesn't really need £100,000, but, you know, still, it's a fantastic gesture, and I think it won't go unnoticed by the fans and the board at that club as well. So, yeah, fair play to him. Anyway, I'll leave it there. It's just a quick video because there's a couple of bits and bobs in, like I say, in Dutch football on the continent that I wanted to talk to you about. It's a league that, strangely enough, you know, I've never actually gone to see any games or anything, but I do really like it. There's quite a down-to-earth home roots feel to it. You know, grassroots feel is the word I was looking for. It's you know, there's not so much money, but there's solid principles in that league. You know, they raise the right players, they teach them the right way to play. Obviously, you've got Ajax there and stuff, so I do try and keep an eye out for that league. So, you know, you can expect to see a couple more videos about the Eredivisie as and when it gets back up and running next season. But yeah, just a quick update. So I'll be looking to do a couple more videos, hopefully this week, about what's been going on in the rest of Europe and England. It does look like a couple of the leagues are gearing back up to start next month or June, so fingers crossed. When I have more information, I'll make a video about that. But if you like the video, drop a like on it, and you know, subscribe if you want to see more videos. And thanks very much. Stay safe.